थैंक यू सो मच। और मैं छोटा सा एक ट्रिविया भी शेयर कर रही हूँ कि हम लोग जैसे यहाँ पर आ रहे थे इंट्रोडक्शन के लिए, तो ये जो दमदार डायलॉग अभी आपने यहाँ सुना, जिम ने बड़े धीरे से मुझे वो सुनाया। तो आई एम होपिंग कि जब ये सेशन एंड होगा यूल दैट विल बी अ लिटिल ट्रीट फॉर आवर ऑडियंस। आई एम श्योर धीरे धीरे आपका माइंड चेंज हो जाएगा। जिम पर सबसे पहले
हम कर देंगे चेंज।
थैंक यू रॉबी, डायरेक्टर ने बोल दिया, अब कैसे मना करेंगे। पर ये बहुत ही स्पेशल कहानी है। इसका ट्रेलर बहुत इंट्रीगिंग है। कहा जा रहा है कि अगले साल शुरुआत में ये आएगा शो। इंडिया का सबसे बड़ा कंज्यूमर ब्रांड टाइटन, और हम सब ने ये घड़ियां पहनी है, पर इसकी शुरुआत कैसे हुई और अब ये एक शो में तब्दील किया गया है। जिम, आपसे शुरुआत करूंगी। जब इसकी कहानी आपको सुनाई गई और आपको बोला कि ज़र्क्सिस देसाई का कैरेक्टर आपको निभाना है, कैसी रही वो जर्नी?
Actually, they brought me this project quite a few years ago, with a totally different, with a different director at that point. And but I remember hearing about the story and just finding it extremely interesting. The idea of this being perhaps India's first startup kind of a situation, and just the idea of how these guys built it really from scratch, and how much trust was involved between Xerxes Desai and the Tatas in order to have this actually come to fruition. Because the way the story was told is they completely liquidated Tata Press at the time in order and gave the money to Xerxes in order to start this organization, which actually wasn't a Tata company to begin with. Because of some loophole that they had to figure out with the government, they eventually partnered with the state of Tamil Nadu, and it wasn't a Tata situation at all. So kind of just on their relationship and on the word of Xerxes Desai and on the word of JRD Tata, they've started this entire new company that if he wasn't such an honorable man, he could have ran away with. There was no reason to give it back or sell it back to Tata if he didn't feel like. I like the idea that relationships can exist like that, and startups really can thrive if the people backing it really believe in the product and believe in each other.
Oh yes, absolutely. And again, I'll dwell into the character of Xerxes Desai.
हिंदी में
Xerxes Desai के बारे में और बात करेंगे। कितना मुश्किल था उनका किरदार निभाना। बट बिफोर दैट रॉबी, मैं आपके पास आना चाहूंगी। तो शुरुआत कैसे हुई? मतलब प्रोडक्शन हाउस आपके पास ये कहानी लेके आए या आप इस कहानी को लेकर गए?
शुरुआत एक्चुअली मेरे आने से पहले हुई थी, लाइक जिम सेड। ये कहानी मेरे प्रोड्यूसर के पास थी, प्रबलीन एंड सुनील, लवली फ्रेंड्स ऑफ माइन, और वो कहानी को बना रहे थे। अमेजॉन एमएक्स से बात हुआ एंड मैं कुछ और शूट कर रहा था उस टाइम पे। सो आई जस्ट फिनिश्ड a story, a series with the same producer, and they were prepping for Titan. And we had a very good equation, the producers and myself, and I mean, it is a great story, so they came to me. और जब पहली बार मेरे पास आए हो तो मैंने बोला सॉरी मैं नहीं कर सकता, honest truth. And the reason was that they were shooting in about 2.5-3 months from the day they came to me. और इस स्टोरी का जो एक स्टेजिंग है बहुत बड़ा है, 80s, JRD Tata, Xerxes Desai, the look, you know, so that requires time. So my first gut instinct, just the fear of not doing it well, was to say no. And I did. But किस्मत, डेस्टिनी जो होती है, सुनील जो मेरे बहुत खास दोस्त हैं, उन्होंने मुझे एक दिन बोला कि यार आप एक बार पढ़ो इसको अच्छे से, और मैं जो बन पड़ा मैं करूँगा, you should do this story. And like I said, he's a dear friend. I read it, and after reading it, I was like, if I don't do the story, shame on me, man. As a maker, I'll be like, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. Time कम है, लेकिन कोई बात नहीं. We'll try and make ends meet somehow, because I couldn't let go of this story, because I didn't know much about Titan. I just love the brand, like we all do. Tatas are a company, what they stand for, trust. Beyond that, मुझे ज़्यादा मालूम नहीं था. And then I read it and I was like, I mean, man, this story needs to be told, and I would love to tell it. And I came on board. और कहानी का मैं आपको छोटा सा एक पॉइंट बताता हूँ. Why Titan? You know, the other companies as well done really well. So Titan की शुरुआत हुई थी लेट 70s में, और उस जमाने में, उस टाइम में it was the license Raj, as we used to call it, as we knew it, or a government company was heading the watch sector. So there was no way a private company, an entrepreneur could walk into that space and build a company. So there was resistance to the point of no, absolute no. Uske saath saath in technology, however advanced we were getting in terms of as a developing nation, हम बहुत दूर थे घड़ी की technology से. Swiss technology was like miles ahead. I mean years ahead, to be honest. हम कहीं नहीं थे. और उस जमाने में Xerxes Desai, what Jim is playing, along with Jerry Tata, had a vision कि हमें world class watch बनानी है. So you might think Tatas थे, you know, but you can't imagine the जो resistance उस जमाने में था एक घड़ी बनाने के लिए और जो drawbacks, limitations थे. Yet Xerxes had a vision. He decided, I want to make a world class watch, come what may, and a maverick gentleman, a genius gentleman, stood his ground and against all odds. And here we are today talking about Titan and a company India is known for. I can call it one of the prides of our country. You know, we've gone international. We are one of the biggest producers of watches today, a brand to reckon with. So yeah, that's...
मुझे ये कहानी भी पसंद है जो हमें लगता है कि एक आदमी या दो आदमी देश को बदल नहीं सकता है. But I believe that actually if you really have the vision and you're unwavering in your desire to complete that vision, then very few people can actually make huge amounts of change. It just takes that unflinching, one focused kind of decision. So I love playing a character like that because it means you start imbibing those kinds of qualities and you start to put those qualities inside of you and you start to be in the shoes of someone who just, you know, and I had fun playing this character as well to an extent because we discussed how we didn't want it to be exactly the same as Rocket Boys or Homi Bhabha. So actually he's quite a soft, gentle man.
Yeah, I mean, if I just may add one line to that. So, एक level पे आप Homi Bhabha and Xerxes Desai, both are genius, both are mavericks, both have unflinching vision of what they want to achieve. So they are similar in a way, right? But the way Jim has played it, I've seen obviously the series that's Rocket Boys. आप कहीं पे भी उनकी झलक नहीं देखेंगे. ये मेरी गारंटी है आपको.
हमें तो तभी पता चलेगा जब शो ऑन एयर होगा और हम देखेंगे.
Hopefully I'm right, Jim.
Same, yeah.
पर ट्रेलर मैंने बहुत बार देखा एंड जेन्युइनली एक चीज जो बार बार सामने आई, एक तो बहुत डिटेलिंग चाहिए थी ऐसे शो के लिए. जो ट्रीटमेंट है, जिस तरह से शो को शूट किया है, समथिंग एज स्मॉल एज जिस तरह से घड़ी के भी शॉट्स लिए गए हैं और जिस तरह से उसको प्रोजेक्ट किया गया है. Xerxes Desai, the man who changed the face of the biggest consumer company and Titan and the man responsible for making those watches. And जैसा कि किरदार में भी है, बहुत ठहराव है, there's a lot of composure. And you are known to play characters, different characters or play them differently. What was your approach towards this character?
I remember speaking to Robbie earlier really about this, that I know that audiences like a very strong, mercurial, kind of hot-headed character, which is why I always felt that it was easier for an audience to like Homi Bhabha than to like Vikram Sarabhai, for example. Even though they both were unflinching and they both have certain characteristics. And I know that an audience likes a bit of, you know, a bit of showmanship. But I really didn't want to do that again in the same way for this part as well. Again, it's a Parsi. Again, it's a Parsi who's studied abroad, who's more comfortable in English than in Hindi, would speak Gujarati. You know, all of these things that is an easy fit for me. I don't know. I haven't watched the show, but I've tried my best to play him in a gentler, more compassionate, more caring way without losing it being interesting or surprising or funny or... But I don't know. I mean,
just adding to Jim's point is that what we tried to do, honestly, in discussions with him, with Namita, all of the actors, was to be honest, genuinely. मतलब हमने ये नहीं सोचा, जिम ने बोला कि यार वी शुड ट्राई एंड मेक हिम मोर मर्क्यूरियल, मोर एंग्स्टी, लेट्स पिक अप द ड्रामा बिकॉज ही शुड गेट एंग्री एंड थ्रो द टेबल, ऑडियंस लाइक्स इट. हमने वो नहीं किया. So we try to be true to the character, be honest in our telling, and मैं इतना ही बोलूँगा, मतलब I've seen the show in the edit, so it's a very honest show. I wouldn't say too much more than that, but what we try to do, I think it's come out the way we wanted to come out. Rest the audience will decide, good, bad, but I mean, yeah.
दर्शकों को बताना चाहूंगी, अभी मैं नमिता से बैक स्टेज मिली और मुझे खुद भी हैरानी हुई क्योंकि ये पारसी नहीं है, बट यू लुक वेरी पारसी. और फिर उन्होंने बोला कि इस रीजन से भी उनकी कास्टिंग हुई. नमिता, किस तरह से आपको अप्रोच किया गया और आप इनकी पत्नी का किरदार निभाती हैं, कैसी थी जर्नी?
So yes, I got a casting call for this in January. I think everybody else was logged. By the way, I am representing all the other actors who are not here on the stage but are part of the Titan team, because they have like complete arcs and it's a stellar cast, like right from Nasir sir to Vaibhav to Laksh to Kaveri, everybody will be apprised of that very soon. But I got a call and I just read the audition message which said that it's a series and it stars Jim, Sarbh and Nasiruddin Shah. I was like, what? I said, I was in the middle of some other shoot. I said, yes, whatever it is, yes. And I directly got on a call with Robbie sir, and I have a very compressed time in the show, but it's positioned in a way where you will see the personal life of Xerxes. That's where I come in, my character comes in. And as far as playing the wife of Xerxes is concerned, I can tell you that, a person who is so creatively agile like Xerxes, which you'll see in the show, the way he dances, the way he goes to the like his work, he's so like there is this vitality to him. So I, as the wife of Xerxes, there's no marital strife in that equation that you'll see, but just to let a person who is so creatively agile, like I said, to flourish, to let them be, to do their work, and also my character is somebody who is also a working woman. So just that dynamics, I thought it was interesting for me, because I never in the show heckle him and niggle him that, oh, why aren't you spending time with me? Because most of the time Xerxes ends up spending is with his team. So, that's where the softness, the tender part of Xerxes would come to the fore, I believe. But yeah, I'm just, I think, incredibly lucky. And I was on the set one day with Nasir sir, so I got to hobnob with him also and say hello to him. He acknowledged my presence. I think that was good enough.
In fact, the equation between Xerxes Desai and JRD Tata, I think, is what is the most intriguing. And I want to come to you a little later. आपसे पूछना चाहूंगी नसीर साहब के साथ काम करना कैसा था. पर उससे पहले रॉबी आपके पास आना चाहूंगी, क्योंकि एक तो आपने मुझे बताया कि रिकॉर्ड टाइम में इस शो को शूट किया है. And
record time, but yeah, whatever. We did it in whatever days we did.
So tell us more about that. And कैसे आपने सब real locations पे ही शूट किया है? खासकर जानना चाहूंगी रिसर्च किस तरह से हुआ, और टाटा कंपनी की टीम से भी क्या आप मिले?
Yeah. So, I think I can say officially, Tata's की कोई story अभी तक बाहर नहीं आया. From what I know, I could be wrong. मतलब Tata's are very private people. We all know Tata's are corporates, but made of a different metal of sorts. They were social in their causes and all those things. Tata means trust. We've grown up with that line. तो उनके लिए अपनी कहानी पर्दे पे लाना was quite surprising, to be honest. But they saw a sense of honesty in our approach towards telling the story. I think, my assumption and my understanding of it, कि हम एक कहानी honesty से बनाना चाहते हैं और एक बेचने के लिए नहीं बनाना चाहते. We didn't succumb to the market forces, so to speak. So they saw that. I think they saw that, और उन्होंने हमें bless किया, and it was awesome. Yeah, the folks at Titan are outstanding people. Honestly, outstanding. मैं आपको थोड़ा trivia देता हूँ. मेरा पहला visit Titan factory में, very interesting. So you've seen corporates, you've seen big companies, heard of them, known a few people. So I went for my first recce to meet the folks at Titan, and what transpired in those 2 days was earth-shattering. Big statement, I'll tell you why. मैं उनसे लोगों से मिलना शुरू किया, senior management, junior, whatever, middle management, और सब वहां पे मुझे बहुत खुश दिखे. मेरे एक कंपनी में 500 लोग खड़े हैं, सब इतने खुश क्यों हैं? It can't be you can't act it out, right? I'm not on camera saying, how are you? How is it working in Titan? Oh, lovely. They're talking to me, but they're all happy. And every person I meet, I say, आप कब से काम कर रहे हैं? 15 साल से, 23 साल से, 27 साल से. मतलब कोई 2-4 साल वाला आदमी नहीं है वहां पे. तो मैंने बोला यार आप कॉर्पोरेट स्ट्रक्चर में हैं, मार्केटिंग के लोग हैं, एडमिन के लोग हैं. You would switch jobs, you would, rightfully so. It's a world. You want to grow. Why are you, at the same place? And most of the answers were common. They said 3 चीजें हैं सर. क्या? एक है रिस्पेक्ट, हमें बहुत मिलता है. दूसरा है पैसा, हमें अच्छा मिलता है. तीसरा है हमारी फैमिली है. Common answer, not rehearsed. They were genuinely so happy that it was amazing. In fact,
और चौथा food.
Chota food, oh my God, the canteen. I'm a hardcore non-veg. I love non-veg. और उनकी कैंटीन में सिर्फ वेज फूड मिलता है, वेज. तो वो पहला तो सेटबैक था यार, 15 दिन वेज खाना. मतलब एंड आई एम नॉट अ बिग फैन ऑफ इडली एंड डोसा. Sorry, somebody, not offend anybody, but it's a little boring for me, especially 15 days. But trust you me, the food there is to die for. They have a big canteen, about 1,000 people canteen, 1,000, 2,000, and everybody from the CEO to the junior staff, they eat there, and the food is to die for. I didn't miss non-veg even for one day. So khana is the fourth, very important. Pet aapka, agar if you're happy in your stomach, you're a happy human being. So they take care of that as well. So unbelievable. So it's a world in a world.
Yeah, and what's nice about the canteen as well is it's the equalizer. You come, you get your tray, you stand in line, you get your food, you sit down, you go and rinse off your tray, wash your hands, and you leave. I like that. I like the lack of hierarchy when everybody comes to eat. It should be equal. And I think we take for granted how these details and how these little things actually do change the entire ecosystem and how everybody feels for each other. It really does matter. When you hear about these things of a set and Amir Khan has come and eaten with the whole crew, and you can laugh about it to a certain extent and it seems like it should be normal, but it does matter and it does change things and it does make everyone feel equal and respected. And I think more corporate structures and film structures should embody this kind of a thing. It really is an equalizer and it's lovely.
Yeah. Well said. I agree fully.
A very little feeling. I don't mean to boast, but our company quite has a similar culture. But to take it to you, yeah. I've been noticing. But to take it to you, आपने जब टाइटन फैक्ट्री पे शूट किया, तो आप यही चीजें देखते थे. आपके लिए भी लॉन्ग स्केड्यूल्स, लॉन्ग डेज, लॉन्ग नाइट्स, और किस तरह से शूट और माहौल कैसा रहता था? Honestly,
the schedule was grueling. It really was a tough schedule. It was tough. They must have done 52 or 55 days in under 3 months, which is tough. I would see the DOP, poor guy, and by the end of the schedule, he was sleepwalking. Because the day that I would at least have off, he'd have to go on pre-light. It was a grueling schedule. I was very impressed actually with everybody, how they all came together in order to make it happen. Usually, and I do have to say this, and not just because he's sitting on stage, but these things, it flows from the captain of the ship, and he always made set so much fun and so collaborative and so inclusive of everybody. It's the only way that you can do a schedule like this without everyone snapping at each other and being annoyed and irritated and tired, and you didn't see that almost at all. And that was 100% because of the energy that Robbie was bringing to the set. It really was very, very, very lovely. But the schedule...
Jim is a lovely actor. He acted so well. Wow, Jim, well done.
But the schedule was grueling schedule. I was exhausted. I was
It was tough. Honestly, it was tough.
और आपने कहा कि कंपनी में फिर भी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग चलती रहती थी despite the shoot.
In my experience of doing whatever I have been doing for donkey's years, मैंने ऐसा कभी काम नहीं किया. So वो दिन की करीबन 50 से 60 हजार घड़ियां बनाते हैं. Right? In the middle of those production, we have a 100-member crew shooting a film, a series. It was you had to be there to see it. We are doing our work calmly. They're helping us in doing our work, supporting us completely, and the watches are being made on the side. So it was a journey, an experience, lovely one at that, really.
नसीरुद्दीन शाह की कास्टिंग के बारे में बताइए और I mean, given the body of work that he has, of how he's delivered this character and how it was to work with.
Naseer Saab, I mean, obvious things. He's an icon, legend, and it's a for any director on the bucket list is Naseer Saab. And luckily, I found him on my set. Naseer Saab, we all know he's a great actor. I won't go there. I think he's about 75, not wrong, around that much. He's as sharp as a tack. You have to be around him. So I'll give you an example. With Jim, he's a buddy, and so we do a take and something. I say, Jim, yaar, ek aur karte hain. Pura arm around him, haan, chal karte hain. With Naseer Saab, you got to be on your toes. If you want one more take, you got to be sure why you want it, and rightfully so.
Yeah,
so he actually aces your game, because if you just have a little moment where like, man, get me a chai, one more. If you're not up to your A game with Naseer Saab, you're in trouble. He'll ask you point blank. He's got a razor sharp humor. He'll say like, Robbie, why? You better have a good answer for that why. And lucky you're most of the kids to had.
And Jim, of course, I mean, you get along very well with him. You worked with him for a while.
No, I've never worked with him before.
You've not done theatre?
No. When I was in college, I came back from my first semester or year of college, and I went to the NCPA to watch The Prophet, and he was in it. It was a one-man show, Khalil Gibran's The Prophet, and I remember watching it and thinking, oh wow, Indian theatre scene is incredible, but I didn't know that it was a bit of an anomaly, and I was really watching one of the best performers of a one-man show set up in India perform. And since then, it had been my dream to potentially act with him. I have met him multiple times, and we were supposed to do a show of King Lear. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. And that's when I was also speaking to Sunil Bora, and I said, shall I send it to Naseer for JRD? He was like, yes, please, please, please. This would be our first choice option. So because we were meeting, I talked to him about it. He read the script. He said he was on. I was like, yes, because it was also a dream of mine to be able to act with him. And yeah, I loved it. He gives you so much, responds to every little small thing that you do. So you constantly feel there's this nice play, conversation going on. He won't ignore something because it doesn't work with his idea of what he wanted the scene to be. He kind of takes it in, encompasses it, and goes back to how he wanted the scene to be. So there's always a nice, keeps you on your toes, and it's fun to see somebody noticing everything.
True. And also, I think a small point to add to that, Jim and Naseer Saab are actually very similar, very honestly, because in the sense that both are so prepped. Naseer Saab gave him 4 pages, 5 pages. I mean, you have to learn the lines. It's 5 pages means a lot of learning. He would come prepped. He would never say, oh, I forgot my line, or he forgot his line. He was prepped. He knew the character inside out. And Jim and Naseer Saab had a personal bonding as well, which kind of reflected in the mentor-mentee situation between JRD and Xerxes. So which really augured well for us on set, and I think it's transpired pretty well.
Namita, wo jo ek handshake tha, the little one that you mentioned, how was that moment?
It was surreal because I am not from this industry and I've seen him for forever. And he's it's not only me, my parents also really, I just respect him a lot. So just to have him, I try to see him with hawk eyes because, you don't get this opportunity a lot. And he was in his costume, he was on his mark, and I was hearing his voice with that texture and that deep, from that guttural sound. So you feel that, oh my God, this is a pinch me moment. So I got I was extremely thrilled, but mostly all my scenes were with Jim. So I have a thing or two to say about him because I think I've never seen somebody who has such acute spatial awareness. He knows what's happening where, which department is lagging. He's so fluid in his body. I don't know, it's a theater actor thing or I don't know, but these are the things that I wanted to pick on, like quickly, whatever I could observe, because we had like 3-4 days together.
No,
Yeah,
no, more.
3-4 days, 6,
5,
7, 8, maybe. But yeah, and he's a whirl of wit and information. It's not only that he's, you know, this person who comes across as a very headstrong person. I think it's in him. It's kind of encrypted in his DNA. The way he speaks, it comes from a lot of emotional depth and intelligence for real. So, in fact, I used to go back to my friends and they would be like, how is it working with Jim? Tell us about him. I said, he works so well with properties, and it's like you have to be on your toes. You can't slack at all. So for me, that was a learning experience. I wish it was for like a longer period of time. I would have forged a friendship with him. But otherwise, it was a very short and like a friend.
He's taken
my
the hint.
petition to be your best friend.
We shall do it on this trip in Delhi. We shall forge
Because
a
he's
friend.
also, yeah, we played quizzes together and like, yeah, so I just loved like that little bit.
I must add a little trivia about Jim. We all know he's a lovely actor. We've seen his work. But Jim is a living nightmare for the production designer. Production design. The art director, production designer. Nightmare. I must tell you why. So what happens is, when we do propping for a set, we have the right computer, the right TV, the right, paraphernalia which is coming on screen. There's a notepad lying on the table, which will never come on camera. So we're a little easy with that because not being shown on camera, so it's fine. When Jim is performing, Jim is Xerxes. So Jim wants to know the logo on the notepad. Why is it not Tata? Why is it something else? I can't feel it. And the poor production designer has not catered for that because she's thinking, jo camera mein dikh raha hai, barabar hai, sells wonderful, but why is it not Tata's notepad? And she's like, notepad lao, jaldi lao, notepad, Jim, Tata. Now I can perform. So the only person troubled by Jim on the set was the production designer. Officially, I'm saying on record.
No, but I was reading about you and especially about this character. और एक चीज जो सामने आई कि आपको ऑप्शन दिया गया था कि आप prosthetics कर सकते हैं. You don't need to go bald for this character, but you chose कि नहीं, I want to be true to the character and I will go bald. That's the commitment towards the character that you put in every single time.
Stupid decision.
Why?
No. It's a good decision.
Just that everybody's praising you for it.
Prosthetics is 2 hours in the morning. You never know how well it'll be done that particular day. It is something that, it's subject to a lot of things going really perfect for it to look really good and for you to feel like it's your actual head. It always looks a bit bigger than your actual head is, right? And something. So it was just easier to do it. We just had to shave it every morning. And when you look in the mirror, you just feel completely different. That's the thing that actually is the best about it, is you just wear a suit and you look like that and you dress like this, and I just felt 20 years older and from a different time, and like how my grandfather used to dress and how he used to look, and it just works. And then when you don't have to think about all of that, you can just concentrate on the scene instead of like, arey yaar, this isn't looking good and now I'm not feeling it and it's hot and I'm sweating through it and the sweat is coming down and now they have to glue it again because it's come off, and I didn't want this kind of a distraction, really.
No, fair point, but I must tell you, actors generally are a little vain. For good or bad reasons. Yes. It's part of the deal, right? Vanity comes in. So it's fair enough. What he said is bang on correct, but what happens is for those 2 months, 3 months, you are bald in life. You understand the problem. Great, I'm an actor, I'll come on set, bald, I feel the part, but you go back home, right? You go for a party also. So you got to be absolutely bereft of your vanity to do what he did. Easier said than done. Because in the best of actors, they have a rep to protect, they want to look good on camera, they have the paps coming, blah, blah, blah. So that is where the security of an actor or somebody who's not at all vain, where Jim scored like 10 on 10 for me, because that takes guts. 3 months.
Your hair has grown back at an
it's grown
astronomical speed.
People
the
were
last
worried.
shot was in July 31st, and in 3 months your hair is all back.
Not even 3 months. We finished shoot. We went for a game of pickleball 2 weeks later. He was a man with hair. I said, people lose it. How do you get it in 2 weeks back? So
तो आप आउट ऑफ मॉडेस्टी जितना भी कहें कि ये कन्वीनियंट ज्यादा था, बट वील स्टिल टेक इट एज अ साइन ऑफ कमिटमेंट टुवर्ड्स योर कैरेक्टर. आई यूजुअली माय नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन आई आस्क टू एवरी OTT मेकर, स्पेशली गिवन द फैक्ट दैट कहानी को अलग तरीके से और अलग कहानियों को दर्शाने का मौका मिलता है थ्रू द मीडियम ऑफ OTT. इसी सब्जेक्ट पर फिल्म बनाना और उसकी कितनी रीच होती या किस तरह से उस कहानी को बताते, वो एक अलग अप्रोच होती है जिस तरह से OTT पे बताया गया है. क्या हाउ डू यू रिएक्ट टू दैट, टू बी एबल टू टेल डिफरेंट स्टोरीज, टू टेल इट इन द मैनर, टेल इट इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ सीरीज, एंड द काइंड ऑफ एक्टर्स that you can take for this market?
See, I think the biggest plus of the OTT world coming into our lives as makers and as an audience is getting diverse stories. And to be very honest and frank, the fear of Friday is not there. Because when you make a film for 200 crores or whatever amount, it's your Friday which suddenly the numbers are not coming in. Good film, great reviews, numbers are dead, oh my God. So OTT is not like that. Numbers take time, it grows. The numbers grow. So there's no immediate pressure. You can actually tell a story, the way you want to tell it. And I must add a couple of more things to it. Also, like the producer I had, he's a very, very dear friend. It's not a 200 crore series, to be honest. It's a certain stature and grandeur is required. It's not that amount of money we have. We have decent money. But it was a lion-hearted producer's feeling which was important. Where there is money to be spent, damn it, spend it, man. It's okay. I'm also cognizant of the fact that I don't want to overspend. But whenever he was standing right behind me saying, let's do it. Even if it's like means getting 4 cameras, doesn't matter. We'll figure something tomorrow on something else. Cut my. Your confidence also grows as a maker when somebody's backing you and saying, doesn't matter. Just go and make the story well. I'm there with you, which is a big plus. And also, I must mention the platform. I'll be very frank. It's been outstanding. The creative EP on the job, Anand, Amog. I mean, they've been like with the story with me, with Jim from the beginning. There's never been a discussion of, यार 10 मिनट के बाद कोई पीक नहीं आया स्टोरी में, 8 मिनट के बाद ड्रामा चाहिए. There's no. So they just believed in the story and they just backed me and the producer, and together we backed each other, to be honest. And the things flowed. So which is a beautiful feeling. So one of my best journeys I've had on the show, honestly. Yeah.
Namita, as an actor, आपको ऐसी कहानियों का हिस्सा बनने को मिलता है in prominent characters, in characters that mean something. Does it change that game for you as an actor?
See, I know personally, first of all, Tatas are very inextricably linked to my life because I have done my master's from the Tata Institute of Social Sciences. And I can tell you that the fact that it was a premier institute and my fee for 2 years was 73,000 rupees. And I had the best faculty from all over the country. I feel like that's what, especially for this story, like, you giving back to your community, yet, you have a global outlook is why I felt that the story is very, very important for people to, especially the current generation, to just partake of the brilliance of the Tatas. We've grown up with all the Tata brands. They've led intellectual explorations from the front, I think, since the beginning. So I feel to be a part of the story is just something that I will be extremely, extremely proud of. And life keeps coming back to the same truths again and again. So I was such a big fan of, when I got admission in the TIS Institute, I was already floored by how the mechanics of the institute was. And now to just see it, just playing out in a story with such a big brand, I feel like, I just feel this sense of, just proud of it.
And Jim, again for you, आपके craft के बारे में तो nobody's here to speak. We've seen your work. We've seen how you've delivered such wonderful characters, such different characters. पर again, क्योंकि हमेशा वो nepotism का topic निकलता ही है. You are from outside the industry. How do you look at the industry, especially after the onset of OTT and the kind of characters you're offered?
To be honest, this is one of those things where I don't think about it at all until I'm asked in an interview again about it. And then I'm like, oh, I guess I have to come up with an opinion on this. But I don't really think about it very much. I've been working steadily since Nirja. I have enjoyed the work that I've done. I've gotten projects that I've really, really loved. I hope to continue acting. I think anyway, everything is in a bit of a flux at the moment. I think the normal producer models aren't quite working. I think a lot of people aren't going to the cinema. I think it is a strange time. From a time when a big lead actor would never be in a film with another big lead actor. Now you saw recent trailers. It's back-to-back huge stars that would usually only want to be in their independent film, you know, and wouldn't allow anyone else of the same category to have an important role in that same show. Now it's happening, you know. So it is a strange time. I don't really think too much about it. I guess I don't know about OTT also. Like, you are asking about OTT and what that means about the types of actors you can get. But I think the appropriate actors were gotten for this show. Like, it's not a question of OTT actor or not. It's what suits the part. And I hope that people think about what suits the part more, because to me, that's more interesting. You want to believe in the reality of the thing that you watch. You want to believe in it. That's why you go, to suspend the disbelief and just immerse yourself in the reality of this magical new world. You know, your subconscious will fill it based on the rules that they have organized. And when you don't believe in the casting, then you're already one step back. Nah? You have to fight against that to get into the film. So I hope people just pick who is appropriate for the part.
Okay, all right.
You don't look
The
that
numbers
convinced
game is
with-
for the producers to see. You only
Is it
focus on
working?
your acting. I mean,
Is the
different-
numbers game working at the moment? No, it's not working. Everyone is in a loss. People are selling off their company 500 crores to 5,000 crores to, for example, you know, it's not working. So I don't know about this numbers game that people talk about it a lot. People still are clinging to it. I just don't think it's working.
Okay, so before I open the floor for audience questions, one quick thing. Namita does a wonderful imitation of Jim.
No.
Please, Namita,
Yeah,
that
she
was
does,
just
she does.
that. Please, and Robbie is going to get you to do it.
I've seen it.
Yeah,
Lovely
yeah,
it is.
Not at all. I was see Jim.
You can't
you
deny, I've
heard
seen
this.
it too. This happened when you had not come.
Okay, you just heard this.
Lovely it was.
I didn't do anything. You
I'm
were
sure
not
he also
here.
wants to see it. And Robbie, she was imitating you.
So he was not. We were waiting for him, and Jim has a certain musicality in the way in which he just speaks. You know, it's not like hey, what's up? It's like hey, what's up? Or I don't know. There is some. I was just trying to. Yeah. I was not mimicking you at
That's
all.
fine.
I can't
I
do
have
it.
no
I'm a
idea what
very-
you're talking about.
Yeah, like that's. I was trying to do that long drawn voice, but it was terrible. I feel. Yeah.
Actually, the baritone was covered with Nasir. So, you know.
She did a mix of you and Naziza.
Yeah, actually, I think I got confused. Subliminally, Naseer sir is also playing.
Until then, I will not make a watch.
That's the correct mimicry.
Okay. Yes, a full house here. Audience questions, if anyone wants to ask a question here. Okay, I see a few hands there. Can we pass on the mic, please?
मैम मेरा क्वेश्चन जिम सर से है. पहले तो सर मेरा नाम दिलेश कुमार है, मैं नोएडा से हूँ. एक तो मेरा डेट ऑफ बर्थ सेम जो आपका है 27 अगस्त 1987 सेम है, ठीक है. और मेरा क्वेश्चन सर आपसे ये है कि जैसे आपने ज्यादातर जो मूवीज करी हैं टिपिकल इंडियन हिस्ट्री से रिलेटेड, जैसे पद्मावत है या गंगोई काठियावाड़ी है, तो वो मतलब इंडियन रोल है उसमें, लेकिन आपका लुक जो है वो एक अंग्रेज की तरह, या हम लोग जैसे समझते हैं कि आप, और आपका जैसे मतलब मैंने पढ़ा है कि आप ऑस्ट्रेलिया में रहे हैं. एक्चुअल क्या है ऑनेस्टली, मतलब आप इंडियन
एक्चुअली
हैं या?
मैं पारसी हूँ. मैं बॉम्बे में पैदा हुआ था. मैं पारसी हूँ. पारसी लोग कभी ऐसा दिखता है, मतलब
हमको ऐसा लगता है कि आप अंग्रेज हैं या मतलब
नहीं,
हॉलीवुड
मतलब
के.
चेहरा तो एकदम इंडियन है. अभी क्या बोलूं. पारसी लोग पर्शिया से आए थे बहुत बहुत पहले.
यस सर. तो सर मेरी डेट ऑफ बर्थ आपकी सेम है, कुछ आपके नक्षत्र
हैप्पी
मेरे को
बर्थडे
मिल
जी.
पाएंगे? Thank you, sir.
चलिए, yeah. Can we pass it on to him, please? This gentleman here.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And thanks to the cast for bringing out this film. I have been very much impressed by it. I am Saxena. I worked in telecom. I was in the civil service. See, I was working in Geneva. And then I used to wear a Titan watch. And every Swiss friend used to come and abuse me. Why are you wearing this watch? I said, this is better than any of the Swiss watches. So this I wanted to share. The other concern which now I have is that the technology is changing now. And now people are going into the intelligent watches. So what Titan is doing about that? If you have any idea, please share with it. Thank you.
No idea.
So Titan has a range of digital watches, the smart watches as we call them. So they have made a different range, and there are multiple watches. In fact, they are increasing the production by leaps and bounds on the new age watches as well. So मतलब बदल रहे हैं, वक्त के साथ वो भी बदल रहे हैं. उनका normal घड़ी तो बिकता ही है, it sells obviously, but because the demand for the smart watches is more, so they're moving with the times, and they have big range of smart watches as well. मैं एक चीज लास्ट बताना चाहूंगा, small thing about Titan. So Titan में एक कमाल का एक thought है उनकी कंपनी में, which they call freedom to fail. So they celebrate failure. Strange it sounds, right? But their logic is, if you don't innovate, if you don't try, you'll be subservient and you'll die off. So they want people to try and fail. So when somebody fails, it's not considered a bad thing for them. They celebrate failure. Because eventually the guy will try again. Fail till you succeed. For a corporate company to have that virtue, I think is pretty awesome. मतलब normally आप fail होते तो अरे गलती हो गया, sorry for it. But यहाँ पे success से ज़रा failure को celebrate करते हैं Titan में. Eventually you will succeed. So which I found very refreshing and which is a part of our story as well. A small part of our story. But हाँ, ये एक virtue था, तो I must share with the audience.
And there's quite an interesting anecdote related to a Swiss watch company as well. Yes. But I don't want to give it away. It's kind of a bookend for the show. But it has a very, very interesting. I hope you actually watch it.
सर आप एंड में आप शो देखेंगे तो आपको जो आपने घड़ी टाइटन की पहनी थी जिनीवा में, उसका आपको आनंद आ जाएगा आखिर के पार्ट में हमारे शो के. बताएंगे नहीं, बट देखना.
Anyone else? Okay. One good. Yeah. Okay.
Good evening, sir. So my question is for Jim, sir. Sir, if you could revisit one of the characters that you've played and explore a what-if alternate version of that character, who would it be and why?
A what if?
A what-if alternate version of that character.
Actually, there's a very interesting story about Malik Kafur. So the actual story of Malik Kafur is very, very, very interesting. He was bought as this slave. The actual story is he was bought, he was called a Hazar Dinari, because he was bought as 1,000 gold pieces slave. And he, actually, the truth is that Alauddin Khilji was besotted by him, not the other way around. Alauddin Khilji was madly in love with him. Like, as a side piece, of course, but still, like really, really, really into him. And he actually became the general of the army, Malik Kafur, after a while. And he would go on these raiding parties down into the south. He's actually the guy that brought the Kohinoor diamond to Delhi in the first place. He was very tired with the bureaucracy of the court, so he didn't like being there. So he would go off on whatever missions that he was allowed to go off on. And eventually Alauddin Khilji actually fell quite sick. And he came back to take care of him, but actually slowly poisoned him until he died. Killed off all of the other kids, Alauddin Khilji's children, put an 8-year-old on the throne and ruled through this 8-year-old like puppet for quite a while. Quite an interesting tale. Not a good tale, of course, a tale of murder and deceit, but nonetheless very, very fascinating. So if there was like a Malik Kafur film alone, it would be it would be a different thing. And I think it speaks a bit more to the fact that I don't think anyone likes being bought as a slave. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, let's take one last question. All right, you have the mic. Please go ahead.
Jim sir, I had watched Rocket Boys maybe a month after it released, and you were brilliant would be an understatement in as Homi Jahangir Baba. But do you like playing roles which don't suit your age? Like in this as well.
I know.
And I liked your colorful roles in Four More Shots and when you played Adil in Made in Heaven.
Yeah, they were age appropriate. All of
Yeah.
these other ones I keep playing older.
But you are more brilliant in the roles which...
Where I'm older.
Yeah.
Kya pata. I think every other actor I know wants to look younger and younger and younger and dyes their hair and does the fillers and the whatever jaw replacement, whatever. I seem to be the only actor who goes out of his way to look older in as many projects as possible. And then I'm surprised when someone will come to me with a script and say, amazing character, mid-50s, incredible. Also recently there was an article that came out where it was 8 actors fit at 50, still hot at 50 or something. And there was a picture of Shah Rukh all topless, and then there was a picture of me like this sitting in a suit, and then there was a picture of Hrithik all topless with abs and stuff. And I was number 3 on the list. I'm 38.
You're actually 1 year younger than me.
Yeah, so, but imagine the conviction of the journalist doesn't even need to look it up. Is so sure that this guy is probably 50 and above. I mean, I don't know what to do. Yeah, this isn't going to help. This
5 years
isn't
more
gonna
now.
help at all.
All right, so we are slightly short on time. And before we go, we know that a date hasn't been locked yet for when the show goes on air. But tell our viewers something. Now they're looking forward to see the show. Like approximately when?
I mean, like you said, the day is not locked, so I can't really say.
But I mean,
yeah,
this
I
year,
mean,
next year, mid next year, early next year.
Yeah, it's probably early next year.
Okay.
Probably, I don't know, probably early Feb, but it's not locked as yet, so I can't say it for sure. But yeah, please watch it when it comes out. It's a fun show, it's an honest show, and we have Jim and Namita in the show, so please watch it.
Like what...
Nasir, sir?
Oh, Nasir Saab also.
Nasir sir.
I was for you, so anyway.
No, but the whole team that makes the watch, really nice. Look out for all of them.
No, a small point, Jim,
Yeah.
I'll add. So honestly, on a serious note, so normally what happens when you do a show or a story, you know, you have 2 fantastic actors in a group of, let's say, ensemble of 6, 8 actors. If you're a little weaker, you try to hide them, you know, cover them through different ways and means. But for us, for me, luckily for this series, for this story, barring the 2 sitting here, Nasir Saab obviously, the other gentlemen, Vaibhav, Lakshveer, Kaveri, I mean, really fantastic actors. I know I'm plugging my own show, sounds a little vain maybe, but the truth is, I mean, they're really, really good, all of them. All 6, 7 of my lead players in the show to die for. So
Yeah, and we did complicated shots, and we
Yeah,
would do single take, long takes,
Yeah.
and you could always rely on the other actor to
Yeah.
be giving you something, to adding to the scene. They were playful, they were fun, they were happy for me to pakao them outside of the shoot as well and be like, maybe we'll try this, maybe we'll say this, shall we tweak this line, can we tweak this line? You know, all of this stuff.
they were not so happy.
Yeah, they weren't that happy.
They
The
were-
problem for me is when it's long Hindi lines, I have to get the lines in advance, and even improvisations, I have to think of them beforehand so that I can translate them to Hindi, because I don't think in Hindi, right? There's a slight delay between the thought and the end. So I really drove them all crazy.
Honestly, again, it's like seems like a I like you, like me session. But what happens when the actors are that they tend to be very insecure. As a breed, I'm saying in a very polite way, they're insecure. Because competition, because so many people, because of whatever reason. So Jim is a different breed of actor, because normally what actors do is when you have a scene, yaar he's got the bloody line, yaar, I want that line. There's a bit of a khichataani ki yaar, meko wo line chahiye. Now Jim ka ulta hai. Xerxes ka, there's a paragraph of nice fiery speech of sorts where he's giving it, you know, Tata is this, Tata is that, and blah, blah, blah. Nice, you know, cinematic moment. He says, yaar, Robbie, Xerxes will not say this, yaar. So he's ulta. So You know, imagine an actor saying the punchier line in a scene should not go to me, but that should go to Weber because he's the guy who feels it more in the scene. I said, I totally agree here. I didn't see it like that, but now when you're saying it, Xerxes was not like this. You're right. And he gave the prime, the chunkier line, the cinematic line to his co-actor. Now, actors don't do that, generally in life. You know, they want to play the part in honesty and conviction, but at the same time, they want to hog the limelight. They want the line to belong to them. So he's one actor who says, no, give it to this one because that suits him better. So that's it. No more, that's it.
Just so I can learn less lines, you know. Just
That too. But you already learned it, by the way. Then you gave it.
Learn less lines, not go through prosthetics. So I went ahead and went bald. But we are really looking forward to watch this. Namita, quickly, if we want to hear from you before we wind this up.
Yeah, I think even I was not there on most of the shoot days. I have heard stories, and even I am, you know, I have this sense of anticipation ki how have they stitched it together, because they've shot a lot. And it's really dense actually. When we were doing the reading, I was at the end of third episode, I was like, wow, there is information, but you know, he would make sure that it's interesting also. So I want to see how it is stitched together, and I am sure this will be a show that will be loved by a lot of people, not only because of the performances, but the story, the just that, you know, the essence of everything that they've captured in that 5-6 episodes. I think everybody would. I'm very excited to see it.
I think आज हम सभी इस फीलिंग के साथ ही यहाँ से निकलेंगे और इस फीलिंग के साथ रैप कर रहे हैं. हम सभी को ये शो देखना है और इस कहानी को देखना है, आप लोगों की परफॉर्मेंसेस को देखना है. सो विशिंग यू ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट. थैंक यू सो मच कि आप लोग साहित्य आज तक के इस मंच पे आए और आपने हमें अपने शो के बारे में ज्यादा बताया, जबकि अभी तक फाइनल डेट भी लॉक नहीं हुई है. सो थैंक यू वेरी मच एंड लुक फॉरवर्ड टू वॉचिंग द शो. थैंक यू. लेट्स हैव अ ह्यूज राउंड.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us.